3, 2, 1.
Hey, what's up, everybody?
Welcome back.
We're back to do another post-game review for Tampa Bay versus the Patriots. I know we're a day late on this. Game ended late, so we didn't get a chance to do it until now. So Patriots lost another one, 19-17. Although I thought it was a really good game.
That's one I've watched.
Yeah, I think both teams played really well. It came down to obviously the field goal that was missed by Folk at the end of the game.
That wasn't really his fault, though,
Yeah,
because the thing is, obviously it was raining pretty bad out. It was windy. And he had a leg problem, I guess. At first, and plus it's 56 yards. I mean, that's pretty far. But, when he kicked it, it looked like he had it. But then at the last second, like, it curved and it hit the goalpost.
Yeah, I mean, it's like I said, 56 yards is pretty tough to kick it. So 56 yards in the rain and wind. So it would have been cool if he actually made it. That far at the end of the game. It's it's one of those moments. But I guess it wasn't meant to be. I think they did. Patriots defense played really well against the Buccaneers offense, and same for the Bucs defense against the Patriots offense. I think both teams threw pretty well. I mean, both quarterbacks had over 200, almost 300. Mac had almost 300. So they're both right there. Both Mac Jones had 2 touchdown passes. Brady didn't have any, but I think they had 2. Was it 2 rushing touchdowns, or was it just 1? Or just 1 rushing touchdown. So they must. And they got the.
Yeah, they got 1, but then they missed the field goal.
Yeah. So I mean, neither team ran the ball. Well, I shouldn't say neither team. Fournette did really good. He had 91 yards on the ground, which is pretty good. But he's a pretty good running back, though. They just had like nothing. They had no rushing attack whatsoever.
No, the Mac Jones threw the ball a lot this game, which about time he finally do. I mean, it took him long enough because every game, he would throw it, but this game he wouldn't be throwing it, a lot. Like, the past, 2 games or whatever, they always try and rush the ball and he'll throw here and there. But this one, he went all out and went crazy.
I think it's because they knew their rushing attack was doing nothing. They weren't getting anything on the ground. I mean,
oh, sure.
It was really quite pitiful. I forget how many. When they have 6 rushes for -1 yard for the entire game, that's not good. No. I think it has something to do with the weather. Maybe, I don't know. You would think it would be easier to keep it on the ground in this kind of weather, but they went the other way and they were throwing the ball a lot more. I wonder if they did it on purpose. They probably thinking that Tampa Bay's defense were expecting a more running game and not a passing. I don't know.
That might have been the way. I don't know. I'm not 100% sure. The thing that I was surprised by was, Jacoby Myers. I mean, he's with the Patriots for how long now? I think 2 years or whatever. He had a really good game last night. He played really well. He had 70 yards last night. That's pretty good. He caught a lot of good catches and made a lot of good plays. He was a rookie at first. Wasn't so good, but he's getting up there. And Hunter Henry, another one. Harris. They get in there. N'Keal Harry, I think, he still has some ways to go with improving, but he'll get up there.
Well, I don't know. Sorry, I don't mean to catch up. I've had high hopes for Harry because maybe this is going to be the. I don't know. I keep thinking that this is going to be the year, and this is which is his 3rd year, and he really hasn't done much so far. The first year he's really injured most of it, but I keep hoping that this is going to be the year where he really breaks up. He just came back. He had 1 catch last night. But it was in bad weather, and he just came back. So we'll have to keep an eye on it and see. I hate to get my hopes up for the guy, but just because he hasn't done anything yet to show that he's the guy. But I don't know. We'll have to see. But the receivers overall, I think they're good. Aguilar and Bourne both had 5 catches.
Yeah.
Jacoby Myers is really, like you said, he's been really good the last couple of years. Even with Cam Newton last year, he was like the #1 receiver. This year he's done really well. I think he had 2 passes last night too, both two completions. So that was really cool.
I also thought on the Patriots defense, I thought Kyle no, not him. The other guy, Matt Judon.
Yeah.
I thought he had a really good night, helping the Patriots defense. I mean, he got that sack against Brady. I mean, the crowd went nuts when that happened. I mean, no offense. I mean, we're Tom Brady fans, but it's always good that he deserves to get sacked. But no, I mean, he had a phenomenal night on the defense. I think this is his first year with the Patriots, right?
Yeah, he was with Baltimore last year.
Yeah, he did a good job last night. Jonathan Jones did. The thing I wasn't too happy about was the pass interference call, which was called on Kyle Van Noy. I feel like that was a little bit of the turning game right there, because Brady threw it pretty far on that play, and it was a pass interference call. I think I'm pretty sure it was third down when he threw that. So, I think if the pass interference wasn't called, they would have had them.
Yeah, but it was pass interference. It was clearly pass interference.
No, I'm not. I know. I'm saying, like, if he turned around,
if he hadn't
done that,
yeah, and the guy didn't catch the ball, but I think the guy would have caught the ball if he had tried to turn around.
He still caught. It's hard to tell what would have happened.
Yeah, but
it was a good throw.
I think he saw Van Noy was covering, and he knew he probably couldn't keep up with the receiver. So if you throw it out there, and he most likely it's going to be a completion or pass interference, because Van Noy can't cover the guy. So I think Brady knew that. That's why he went that way.
I think that was the only big error the Patriots made on their part. That one call and the fumble they gave up too. When I forget who was running with it, but the guy from Tampa, whoever it was, knocked it right at, like, smashed like right into him, and the ball came out, and they Tampa Bay got the ball back. That was a good play on their part, but that's something they still got to work on. Is preventing fumbles. I don't think there was any interceptions. Well, oh no, there was one.
There was one interception.
Which play was that?
I don't recall.
I think it was the third quarter it happened, though.
I don't remember if that went off a receiver's hand. I don't think it was a...
Mac Jones threw, but I forget who he was aiming for.
I don't recall.
That's the only thing I think the Patriots got to work on.
Yeah, the turnovers have been really pretty bad so far this year. I think the so glaring problem to me is the offensive line. They can't run the ball. They can't protect the quarterback. But Mac Jones is again getting hit left and right. If you made him move around the pocket really well, he kind of help himself out a little bit. But
Mac Jones had 4 sacks last night, and Brady only had 1.
Yeah, so but that's the sack that you think about. How much he just got knocked down. He got
hit.
Hurried. It might not have been a sack, but it was definitely, played a part. Offensive line has been absolutely atrocious this year. They can't even run the ball. They can't protect the quarterback.
That's the only issue they have.
Yeah, I think what's his name? What's the guy's name? Trent Brown, their offensive lineman. I think once he comes, he's been practicing, but he's been limited. So maybe this coming week he'll be back. I think when he comes back, they'll definitely help him a lot. But even when he was in there, they still weren't perfect. They think they can't do anything about it now. They're going to wait into the offseason to address the offensive line unless they sign somebody from somewhere. I don't know. But the offensive line.
They always have the trade deadline. Half the season is over, they got that. So they could make a couple moves during that. But like I said, most likely the off season is when the major improvements will come.
The offensive line is absolutely just not good. It's just a major weakness on this.
This has been a problem even when Brady was here.
Yeah, it goes back to when Brady was last year.
Not last year. The two years that, not because last year was Cam Newton. The year before.
No, that's what I'm saying. Brady's last year here. They couldn't protect him, and I think that probably had a part of why maybe why he left. They're saying, I need help. Need to protect me a little bit, but I don't know. Honestly, that's just me thinking of what could have happened. But,
well, speaking of Brady, while we're talking about him, as far as him last night, he had a phenomenal game, but his Tampa Bay, they made a lot of errors, a lot of mistakes. I think they got called twice for offensive interference twice. I will say there should have been a call on them because I forget who pushed McCourty. So McCourty was out of bounds.
No, that was Matthew Slater. They pushed him out of bounds, and that was on a punt or a kickoff. I think it was on a punt.
But if you watch the footage, he tries to come back, but then the guy shoves him out of the way, and they call.
He shoved him out of bounds, which you're allowed to do on a punt or a kickoff. So for the guy running down the field, you're allowed to push him up, but he has to immediately try to get back in, which he didn't. He ran like 30, 40 yards downfield before he re-entered the field, but you can't do that. That was a mistake on his part. I don't care how much he complains about it. It was quite evident he should have gone back in the field. And
I mean, yeah, it is.
He kept running down the field outside, on the sideline. You can't do that. You got to get back to the field immediately, and he didn't even do that. I know they showed the replay of him being upset about it, but it's like, well, you ran like 30 yards down the field, still off the field. Like, you got to get back in. If you're allowed to get shoved out of bounds, that's part of the game. You got to get back in. He should have known better. He's been the best special teams guy they've had for years. But anyways, I think Brady did really well. He got the NFL passing record for those most passing yards.
Massive achievement.
I think it was cool that Brady come back, and back to the fans cheer when he came on the field originally, but then
they booed him
when the actual game started. I thought that was really cool how they didn't just continue to cheer for him because he is on the other team. But I think it was cool that how supposedly him and Belichick talked for 20 minutes later on after the game, and the media made this big thing about how they don't like each other. Kraft and him don't like. I think it's just all nonsense.
And even Brady said during, they asked him, if he would end up retiring as a Patriot, and Brady goes, there's a chance, he's like, I'll leave the door open.
Well, he's gonna retire. He's only gonna play for Tampa Bay for a few years. It's a big difference between.
I'm saying come back and maybe play.
He's not gonna come back and play for the Patriots again. He's all done as a Patriot. He's not gonna come back. He might come back, as a.
What about, because they've been discussing about like a one-day contract thing, where Brady plays one game and then he retires.
They're not going to do. They're going to mess with the whole team to have this guy come back in for one game. You don't do that. That's unheard of. That's silly. If you want to make it sign for a day, just say he was a Patriot for his last day as a pro player, but I don't even see that happen. I think he'll retire as a Patriot, meaning then when you go to the Hall of Fame or whatever, you retire wearing the Patriots hat and going in as a Patriot. But I think he's had a great career. Can't say anything bad about the guy. Who cares if he went to another team? That happens. 20 years of winning, you can't really complain. Eventually, the train stops, so to speak. I mean, it's going to be wild for the Patriots. So I get back to the players on a regular basis. If they do, I think at the last night game, seeing Mac Jones how well he played, I have high hopes now. Maybe feel a little bit better about how the way this team is going. But yeah, I think that's going to do it. Overall, I think it was a real good game between both teams, and I think both teams played really well and came to the field goal at the very end of the game. So that was pretty cool. So yeah, I think we're going to wrap this one up. As always, we appreciate you guys tuning in to check out our videos. So hit that like and subscribe.
Until next time.